What is up, everybody? So back at you with another video here. Today I wanted to just talk about a long trade that I took on TGC. So this is Tengasco. They're a Chinese company. I don't know much about them, to be honest with you. Wasn't really paying attention to the headline. There was a headline. It was something, they partnered with this Riley Exploration Company in an all-stock deal, or they entered into a definitive merger agreement in an all-stock transaction under the terms of the merger agreement. So Tengasco will issue approximately 203 million shares of the common stock to Riley members at the closing of the transaction. So basically, Riley is being acquired by Tengasco, or the shares of Tengasco are being issued to Riley shareholders. So anyway, this catalyst this morning is kind of what set it up. As you see, it's up over 200% currently. So I was kind of watching it all morning. Oh, it's resuming now, so we'll see what happens with it. I think it's actually going to be a short here out of the halt. I just kind of want to see the levels that it holds. So this might be a live trading right now. We'll see what happens. So I'm watching this just kind of below the VWAP. So the volume weighted average price currently is 333, and as long as it doesn't break above the VWAP, I think it will be a short setup. That right there was a false kind of break towards the upside. Right now you kind of want to watch the consolidation, see what happens, see where the kind of people want to go with it. There was a lot of selling in that last candle, so the majority of the big volume came on a red candle, which was right here. So this candle here, as you see, it was green, but it was red for a lot of the candle. So a lot of it was still selling volume, although it looks green. So here we kind of have an attempt to push back up to the VWAP. Now this attempt is very weak, so almost I'm very short bias on this stock. As you see, it's still trying to curl up, so you don't necessarily want to get in short too quick. You kind of want to wait to see it hit the VWAP, or try to hit the VWAP and then fail. Now it's starting to fail here already, so you might not see it retest the VWAP. So we'll see. We'll see what we get out of this trade here. As I said, I'm looking to go short on it, but there's nothing really like. I was hoping it would come back up and test the VWAP again, but if it doesn't, then you're looking at kind of 290 as your resistance level. If it can't break back above that level and hold, as your 3 above 3 is kind of $3 is your resistance level currently. Oh, there's 295, 296 on the ask, 297, 98. So as you see, it's trying to break 3 again, but it's having trouble. So I kind of want to short it, and I think that anywhere in the below $3 is a good short level. Let's see what it does here. As you see, it's constantly trying to break, but it can't. But there's a lot of buying volume, so I will just kind of give it a second. And yeah, might just get short here. Oh fuck yeah! See, I missed it there. I missed the push. I missed the short. So I'm gonna try to short it here at 290. All right, 292. Hit the level that I wanted it to hit. So we'll try to short it here. See what we get. Orders waiting to be filled. It's at a higher level than it wants to go. Okay, there. Okay, I'm in at 291. Oh, order rejected. There's no shares to short. So, unfortunately, it will not be a live trading recap. No shares to short. So, I can't short it, unfortunately. I could go long on it, and I did go long on it. I'll talk about that trade in a second. Unfortunately, this short did not work. As I was saying, $3 is kind of your resistance level. So if it can break $3 and retest the VWAP, then it might show strength. But if it stays below this $3 level here, it's probably going to be a short for the rest of the day. And basically, you're just going to be catching profit sellers, people coming on realizing they're up 200% on the day, and they're like, oh shit, I gotta sell. So that's when you get a lot of profit selling. Plus, if it remains below the VWAP, it's showing weakness, and people don't necessarily want to go long on a stock that's showing weakness. So I was trying to short it at 291 here. You can see it kind of is fighting in that 290s area, trying to get up to 3, but $3 is acting as resistance, and it's having a real hard time breaking 3. So more than likely this is going to fade. And if I was in at 291, I'd be looking for 270, 260, and then eventually down to the 250s. Oh, now it's going to try to break 3. Oh, it did break 3. Okay, so it's breaking 3 again. It's going to try to retest the VWAP, and as you see, it's just really struggling to get anywhere above 3 with any real momentum. So I'm not quite sure what's happening here. This down here, ASTC, it is a short setup to, if you ever have seen one. So the biggest thing about the short setup is that it is rejected from the VWAP. As you see here, it constantly tried to break the VWAP, but got rejected, and then in this last rejection, you see this big sell-off, and then another topping tail candle that's trying to come back up to break 5, and then $5 is now acting as your resistance level here, and you could see this tail trying to break it, couldn't, so then it basically just kept selling off. And then when you see these lonely green candles in a sea of red, and when they're very low volume candles, what that's telling you is that all of the volume is selling volume. So if you were to short it anywhere in these areas, now for me it's got a 300% margin rate. So for me that's, because I trade with a small account, so it's hard for me to short a stock that's giving me a 300% margin rate, because basically I have to have 3 times the amount of money to short. So I can only short like, if I have 1,000 or like 1,500, I can only short like $400, something like that. 4, 8, 12, 16. No, so I could short like 500 if I had 1,500. So that's kind of how it goes, right? So shorting 500 is not bad, but I'd rather short 1,000. I'd rather kind of not have to chase those big moves, 10%, 20% moves, just so you can get a decent return on your investment. So ASTC is kind of bouncing off the $4 mark here, and it's kind of doing a reversal. So you might see a curl maybe back up to the VWAP of 511, but I bet this is just going to turn over, and you're going to see it just fail, because it is a pretty clean short setup. But anyway, so TGC, as I was saying earlier, I was trying to short it at 291, and $3 is acting as resistance. So that 291 short still looks pretty decent. Because right now it's consolidating and it's trying to break higher to show strength, but it just can't. So as soon as people start to realize that it's not going to break above 3 or 290, and they're really just want to get out of it, you're going to see a lot of selling. So basically you're going to have a big sell-off in the next few minutes. So you're just waiting. Like I said, once it breaks 280, 275, it's gonna just keep fading. So I'm not gonna sit here and keep watching, and I'm gonna go over the trade, but this is just what ends up happening when you try to short or pick like an area of where you see resistance and support. So right now you're seeing consolidation, and in this area a lot of times if you can't break that critical level of resistance, which right now is $3, it's not gonna be a long, and it's basically just gonna fade. So we'll see what ends up happening, but that's what my prediction for the rest of the day on this stock. As you see, it's breaking 3 again. Oh, maybe it breaks the VWAP again. So right now I would be looking to cover. So if I was in 291 and it starts tapping the VWAP and it's able to break above the VWAP, I'd be covering for a loss. So 329 is the VWAP. As you see, it's not really able to gain a crazy amount of momentum. We'll see what happens. It might be able to reverse, since now it's broken above that level of $3. So now $3 might act as support rather than resistance. We'll see what happens, but there's a lot of people looking to take profit on this stock because it's already up 220%. So just remember that, which is why it has such a hard time breaking through these levels again. So as I said, VWAP 329, 328 now. If it can break that level, I would be covering my short. If it doesn't break that level, then I'd be looking to hold my short position at 291 and just carry through this reversal, which is going to see a pretty big drop pretty quickly, because it couldn't break through that level, couldn't break the VWAP. So because of that, it's a rejection. It's a VWAP rejection, and now you're going to see down to 75. You're going to see down to 65, and then I would have taken profit. So you just see that once it couldn't break that level of VWAP here, once it tried to come up and test, and then it could not break it, couldn't even really break 320, it was immediately rejected. And now you're seeing just a complete completion of the short setup. And you're going to see a follow through probably to 250, maybe even $2. By the end of the day, I don't doubt that this thing will be back at $2. So if I would have got the short in at 291, I would be up probably 30-40%. As I said, my order didn't fill. There are no shorts to take on this trade, on this stock, unfortunately, which kind of sucks, because I'd be up over 7% right now, and I'd be looking to take profits through the next flush through 265, which will happen probably in the next minute or two. So let's see what it does. So it's starting to bounce off 270, acting as resistance, just because it was such a big drop, but there it broke that level, and now it's starting to fade again. See 269 on the bid, 267, 266, 265, and there you go. And that was the flush I was looking for. 263, 262, 261. I take profits. They're at 261. 30 cents profit, 261. Basically, I'm up a couple $100 from that trade. As I said, where I would have shorted it back here around 291. Yeah. So 291 was the area I was trying to short it, as I said, right around this area here. I would have followed that through. I would have sold here at 261, and it would have been a short trade as well. Anyway, so I'm going to stop following what's happening here. It's probably going to break down to 250, like I said, because it's just been rejected from the VWAP. But I want to talk about my trade from earlier. So earlier, I was watching this out of the gate thinking that it would be a long setup, mainly because it was able to hold its levels quite well pre-market. So it was able to break above the VWAP pre-market and then pretty much stay there for almost the whole pre-market session. And then almost right out of the open, it was able to kind of break above the VWAP and hold there with a pretty nice high. And then it rejected. But as you saw in the consolidation, it really started to act as support here around this 250 level. So 250 started acting as kind of mental support, and then the stock reversed and started to break above the VWAP here, and then was able to give a clean break of the VWAP, or I should say a clean consolidation around the VWAP. So you can see it broke above, gave you a nice trade here if you took the break of VWAP trade from 310 up to 380. And then it pulled back. And in this pullback, I was waiting to see if it would break the VWAP. It did not. It held above the VWAP. So I took a trade pretty much right around the VWAP, or just above the VWAP at 330. So when I took the trade, it was 330 where I got in. And it was basically right at the end of this candle. And after that, I was waiting for the breakout again, because as I said, it was consolidating around VWAP. So if it holds above the VWAP, it'll show strength, and then it'll kind of give you this quick push over $4, which is what happened. And I was anticipating that, mainly because pre-market, you can see it holds as resistance at that $4, but it was able to come up and tap it twice. So because of that, I was anticipating another kind of push towards $4. And that's why I got in here at 330, and then I sold at 370, knowing that $4 was resistance. So if it couldn't break that $4 level, it was probably going to reverse very quickly, and I didn't want to get stuck in a reversal. So I was just willing to take my profit at about 15%, it was about 13%. But anyway, it was decent, made it over $100. So it was a decent trade. When you're trading with small account, you need to kind of take your base hits, take your profit, especially if you're in a stock that you're not sure about and it's showing quite inconsistency, in terms of like being unable to hold above the VWAP, or it's kind of what is happening? Am I in this trade? No. Okay. I'm like, what is happening? It's showing me here it's showing me here minus 250. So I'm like, what's happening? Am I in this trade or no? Yes. Cancel my short trade. This order has already been rejected by the exchange. Your order cannot be. Yeah. See, I don't know why it's showing me this here. Anyway. Yeah. So it sucks that I couldn't get that fill on the 291 shorting it, because like I said, now it's down to 240. So it would have been a nice short, a really nice short. Almost, it would have been basically just as nice as this long. But you can't always short stocks, and you don't always have the shares to short. So you kind of have to just take what you got, what you can get. So anyway, I wanted to just give you a quick update on that trade and let you know that I probably am going to be able to trade more in the next few weeks. Harvest season is coming to an end on the farm, and I'm going to have a bunch more time to start trading. So I'm probably going to be trying to take a few weeks or a few months off and just focus on trading and writing. And hopefully I can start making videos for you guys every day and doing like an actual small account challenge where I'm actually trading every day and showing you kind of how I'm able to make profits and build a small account up to be a decent account. We'll see how that goes. As you see, TGC now is breaking 250, and it's probably going to go down towards $2. Like I said, it might show you a quick reversal off that 250 level and go back up towards 275, just giving you a quick reversal after that quick flush from $3. But overall, it's probably going to fade. It's not looking very strong anymore, and nothing anymore really today is looking strong. You kind of have a day of sell-off now. You would have had to get in earlier to make any money on the trades from TGC or ASTC. Just checking out some of the comments here after I updated them on my trade on TGC. But anyway, so hopefully you guys like the video. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover or talk about. As I said, I took this long at 330 and I sold at 369, 370, and I tried to short at 291, and I would have covered towards 261. And I had a pretty nice trade, but my order got rejected, so unfortunately I couldn't trade it. But I still made money on this stock, so I'm not upset. But either way, yeah. And like I said about ASTC, this has been a short setup all day. So if you can get a decent margin rate, as I said, my margin rate is close to 300%, as you see here. So Astrotech Corporation short margin rate is 300%. So I need, basically I can only short up like $500, $400, which is decent, but I'd rather have a bigger short if I was going to short. And there probably isn't even shares to short because it's such a low margin rate. But anyway, I didn't try to short it, and I've basically just been watching it fade. But I knew right away that this rejection of VWAP was going to be a short setup, and after these kind of few candles in here, it was pretty clear that a majority of the volume was coming on selling, and it was going to be a sell-off for the rest of the day. So, they had some news that was decent, actually. They had some news about a company announced it partnered with a Cleveland clinic to develop a rapid COVID-19 breath test. So that's ASTC. That's what was kind of giving the catalyst for its 200% move this morning. And after it hit about 614, around 945, just before that it's been fading ever since. So ever since it failed below the VWAP and couldn't re-break it, it's been a short. And yeah, so hopefully some of you guys out there made some money on it. I didn't short it. I was too busy watching TGC, going long and then trying to short it. So I got the long trade, made made some money, and then the short trade just I would have made money, but it didn't fill. So that's that. As you see, TGC is now breaking down below 250, broke 240. It's down to 235 in the 235s, and it's going to be pushing down back towards $2. So that's that for the day. Not a bad day overall, but yeah. Hopefully I can start making more videos for you guys, and I'll start to trade every day and give you guys some small account updates and let you guys know kind of where I am and where I'm going. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this live trading recap and that attempt to short TGC. But as you saw, I got rejected, but unfortunately that's what happens when you can't get shares to short. That's why going long is always kind of easier, because you can always get the shares, but at the same time, it's not as predictable for long. A lot of times you can predict kind of short setups just by looking at the overall chart, whereas long setups kind of come quick. As long as you understand the VWAP and what it's kind of representing, you can kind of capitalize on those quick moves, but you have to be confident in your setup in order to take those trades. So hopefully you guys learned something. If you have any questions, put them below. But other than that, hopefully you guys have a great day and happy trading.